your nutrition evangelist here. I put the fun back into being healthy. I empower women to make their health a priority so they can get off the sidelines and back to doing all of the things that bring them joy. Today we're talking about elephants. You may have heard the saying, you may have heard me talk about how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. And you may wonder what in the world that has to do with all of the things that Dawn normally talks about eating, moving, recharging. Well, it kind of has to do with everything. And the reason is this: when you're starting a health journey, when you're in the middle of a health journey, when you're revising your goals and moving towards something new, it can feel overwhelming, kind of like eating an elephant. And the thing to do is take a step back, look at the tasks you've got, and break them down into bite sized chunks. And that's very much like eating an elephant one bite at a time. If you were to say to a toddler, all right, let's get ready, it's time for high school, well, that would seem ridiculous, right? And yet, that is very much what we do to ourselves when we embark on a health journey. We say, okay, let's change all of our habits, let's turn them all into healthy ones, and poof, we're going to be at our optimal health. And we all know that doesn't work that way. It's just like New Year's resolutions, right? So what we're going to do is take our goals, take a look at different steps we can take to get there, and then continue breaking those down into smaller and smaller pieces until finally we go, aha, I know how to do that piece. And then we go do it. And then we move to the next one. And these are the kinds of things that I work on with my clients all the time. And it makes all of the difference in how they can implement changes to their food habits, how they can implement changes to their movement habits, how they can implement changes to their self-care habits, eating, moving, and recharging. Those are the focuses that I work on. That's my formula with our clients. It's part of the PFC3 program, and it's so important to learn how to navigate the waters of bringing new habits into your life because that makes all the difference. So if these are things that are interesting to you, drop me a note, tag me down below, send me a message, and I can introduce you to the methodology that I use with my clients. Happy to work with you on that. I've got one, or really just one more open slot for a new client this summer. Summertime's super busy. And I'll give you an example from my own life. My kiddo is graduating from high school next Friday, and there are all these things that we were doing. We wanted to make it a big celebration. And so we've got a graduation party on Saturday. We've got, you know, a cake that we designed and is being made for him. We've got a yard sign coming that's going to show up Friday morning. All of the things. And when I thought about the big category of graduation, it's kind of like that elephant. And so I had to take a step back myself and break it down into the tasks. Well, there's all the things for the graduation day itself. Then there's the things for the party. Then there's the other things. There are gift things. I had a t-shirt quilt made for him with all of his favorite t-shirts throughout the years. And so that's something that he can take with him. So all of these things had to have planning. You needed to know how long was it going to take to make that t-shirt quilt. Let's pick out the t-shirts. Let's get them organized and all of that stuff. So it's like, again, like any other changes that you make, you have to break it down into the manageable pieces until you get to the smallest pieces that you can say, all right, I know how to do this. And then you do it and you move on to the next one. So, and then there's all sorts of stuff involved in creating new habits as well. So hopefully that was helpful to you. I hope that you have a great week Enjoy the long weekend if you're in the U.S. and celebrating Memorial Day. And as always, what I hope for you is that you live a life you love without being hungry, feeling deprived, or giving up your glass of wine with dinner. See you next week.